Hi, Sharon.
Hi.
Hi. How are you doing now in these strange times?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And life continues as normal a little bit because we are used to working at home, of course, and we're just writing songs again. Of course, our album was only released in 2019, the Resist album. So for us, of course, we had planned an enormous tour with Evanescence. So the tour has been postponed, but now we have even more time to write for a new album and on new songs.
Yeah. First of all, the tour, Worlds Collide. What was the starting point? What was the initial seed for this tour? Do you still recall?
Well, I remember that we were invited for a show to Evanescence. They invited us to come and see the show in Amsterdam, and there was Evanescence was playing with a small orchestra in the Ziggo Dome. And afterwards, they asked us to come by and to have a glass of wine. Of course, we never say never say no to that. It's nice to meet people, and so we were interested to meet them also because they are a band from the same scene, of course, and very curious what kind of people are behind the band, of course. So we met and we had a really nice connection with Emily. She was talking she was very open, and that's not something you always expect from the first time you meet someone. You expect maybe a little bit more chit chat to make way for a next meeting, and then you can talk maybe a little bit more on bigger issues of life. But this time it was like immediately going to a serious level of talking very freely about life itself and how touring goes. And I was really surprised. I had goosebumps because I was really surprised because of the openness that she talked. And I was intrigued. And she was as well, apparently, and we stayed in contact. And eventually this tour, let's do something together. And then she said, well, we're setting up a new tour. Isn't an idea to tour together? And that's how it came together.
Oh, that's good. Well, the tour is then next year. First date in September. You have already written some new songs. Will they also be played during the tour, of course, I think?
I think so, yes. That is something we are planning. And maybe because we have a lot of songs, of course, and of course people will also want to hear more songs of the past, songs they already know, maybe a little bit longer. So it's going to be a mixture of old and new. And maybe we'll change every day a different set list, and we'll see how ambitious this tour will be with the set list. But I'm looking forward to playing those new songs live as well.
Yeah. Well, the first song that you released this year was "Entertain You." What was the starting point for this song, "Entertain You"?
Well, I saw around the time that we were writing songs, I saw videos come by on the internet, and it was about people being bullied because of the fact that they're different. And of course, this is something that has been in society, of course, throughout the ages. People always find it necessary somehow, unfortunately, to express how different an other person can be. And I think anyone who has ever been singled out or bullied in school will feel a certain kind of it leaves a scar when you have a memory of that.
So that's your message with "Entertain You."
Yeah, they're not there to entertain you. Maybe people are different, but they're beautiful in their own way. Yeah, and it's not up to you to use that against them.
But I think it also not necessarily sums up, but a little bit of something. I think that's also what the attraction is of Within Temptation. It's really you speak out, you have a certain style. It's not your average day style. So I think it's something that really, people who are a fan of your music can relate to it.
I hope so, but I don't have the illusion that a lot of people listen to lyrics. Some will, and And lyrics are always not always that clear what we mean by it, but through interviews we can talk about it and we can open up the discussion, and hopefully people will think about it, and people will relate to it if they feel necessary. I think music, it always does that, in different levels, of course. Doesn't matter to what band you will listen to. Eventually, you will find something that you connect with, if it is emotion, or it can be the words, of course, but a combination of a lot of things. But I do think there is a group of people that will that does appreciate. So I think you're right, but it's more like. But I also think there's also a big group that doesn't even know what we're talking about.
No, but it's maybe then less clear, more subtle. I mean, the musical choices you make, the style you have, the way of clothing and the way you portray. I think that's more, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I agree.
Yeah. Then the last song you've released this year, I think maybe there will be another one, but I think this is the last one.
This year.
The Purge. What started off this song?
Well, it's about when you are a bit down, in the darker days of life, that you try to discover where the feeling comes from, where the origin of the problem lies. And a lot of times to do that, you do it by self-reflection. Like, okay, the choices you make in life, and what kind of consequences did your choices have on you, but also people around you. And that was actually the start for this song, the idea for this song, because I think, well, we have blue days and dark days, and so I think a lot of people around us as well. It's and the purge is about trying to free yourself from that feeling of guilt, and when you understand why you made those choices, and maybe also can talk with the people that were involved in that decision, then a lot of times that feeling goes away, and you can cleanse that bad feeling, and you can go on again with a better view on tomorrow, because you can really leave it behind you.
Is it something that you've had yourself too? Maybe with an example?
Well, I've talked about this before. For instance, one of the things that I find difficult in life is that I have being in the band for such a long time. I've been on the road for a long time. And that means also being away a lot from my family, not just my own family, but also my parents, and also friends, and a lot of important days that I will miss out on. And so I find that difficult, that always comes back. And I know, I get a lot back for it as well, because it's my passion, it's my love. I love the thing that I do and being in this band. And but of course, family is just as important, maybe even more important. So it does always. I do carry that kind of guilt with me constantly, but then I do try to find balance in my life every time, and see if the balance is still okay. I knew it. Nowadays I can do that better than in the past.
Yeah.
In the past, I was just going with the roller coaster and not thinking much about it. Yeah. And now I try to live more consciously my choices.
Yeah, and I think now with this COVID, I think I think the balance is now more than ever intact.
Yeah, totally. And the thing is also that there is the balance is going more at home than than being, because I've been at home now for a long time, of course. For my if you consider the year that I have, normally it's half of the year I'm gone, half the year I'm at home. Now I'm already for 12 months at home. It's also nice, I must say. It's good for the quality time, and sometimes you would wish you could go again. Because nobody's used to me being around so much. I'm interfering with all decisions now at home as well, of course. So it's it has always two sides to it. So, but yeah.
Last question for this interview. Being at home now for so long, what is the thing that you miss from Within Temptation that you actually didn't know you would miss?
Well, I guess everything that I miss, I already knew I was going to miss, actually. Not something new, because I knew I was going to miss the interaction on stage, the first reactions of the new song. That will eventually, of course, come when we are able to play. But so that's one thing. I miss being together with the band, the crew, seeing each other and being on the road, because being on the road is like a school trip. No, the ultimate school trip, that's how I call it always, and with a lot of adventures and fun, and you really get to know everyone very well when you go on tour, and so they become a sort of family as well. So I miss that as well immensely, and I guess there's not something new that I've been missing. No, so I expected this already, but I didn't know how much. So I'm going to appreciate even more when I do go on tour again.
Yeah. Last question. You've released 2 songs now. What is the plan for you with recording and eventually maybe a new album? Are there any plans?
There are not any plans when we don't have a release date, if that's what you mean, for an album. We're just going to continue releasing songs until we are able to go on tour again, and then we'll see how fast we need to. Well, we don't need to do anything, but well, when we want to release a new album again, and the closer we come to a day that we can tour again, the closer we'll be probably also towards a release date of complete album. Yeah. So we're working on it. There is no album yet, so.
It's good. Thank you, Sharon, for this time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.